वर्ड्स देख लेंगे आप पहले एक बारी। स्मॉल सर्कल अबो लाइन क्या बनता है? एज एन लगा दो, एज के जस्ट नीचे, एज यू ऑल नो, एज यू ऑल नो। बेटर बड़ा सर्कल, उसके नीचे एन लगा दो, एज वी ऑल नो। इस लार्ज सर्कल को इसी में अटैच कर दो, एज वी नो। स्मॉल सर्कल को अटैच कर दो, एज नो। यहां पे यू लगा दो, एज यू नो। अगर आपने डिसजॉइंट होकर लगाया, एज यू ऑल नो, क्या आएगा इसमें? ऑल। एज वी ऑल नो, इसके अंदर ऑल नहीं आएगा। एज नो, एज वी नो, एज यू नो। कर लेंगे डिफरेंस। ओके, एट की डबलिंग कर दो वेरी के लिए, और शॉर्ट में एस का सर्कल लगा दो नोटिस के लिए, एट वेरी शॉर्ट नोटिस। एट की डबलिंग कर देंगे वेरी के लिए, और शॉर्ट में नोटिस का सर्कल लगा देंगे स्मॉल। क्या पढ़ेंगे इसको? एट वेरी शॉर्ट नोटिस। एज ए मार्क को रेस्पेक्ट से काट दो, एज ए मार्क ऑफ रेस्पेक्ट। एज ए मैटर को पॉलिसी से काट दो, एज ए मैटर ऑफ पॉलिसी। एज ए मीन्स ऑफ, नीचे एंड लगा दो, एज ए मीन्स ऑफ एन एंड, एज ए मीन्स ऑफ एन एंड, ई एन डी। एज ए परमानेंट मेजर, एज ए प्रोविजनल मेजर, एज ए प्रोविजनल मेजर। स्मॉल सर्कल और अपवर्ड एल को हाफ कर दो, एज ए रिजल्ट ऑफ, एज ए रिजल्ट ऑफ। एज ए टेम्परेरी मेजर, यही में आर लगा रहे हैं डार्क वाले में। एज एन अल्टरनेटिव, देखो जो आपको बारीकी पे ध्यान देना है, इस पॉइंट पे ध्यान है। ये स्मॉल है, क्या है? एज। जब हमने एज के नीचे एन लगाया तो ये पढ़ा आपने एज यू ऑल नो। अगर आपको इसमें क्लियरिटी नहीं बन रही तो आप इसमें क्या यूज कर सकते हो? आप यहां पे एज यू ऑल नो कर सकते हो। ये दोनों वर्ड यूज किए जाते हैं एज यू ऑल नो के लिए। सेम अगर लास्ट का लगा देंगे, एज वी हो जाएगा, एज वी का, एज वी ऑल नो। ये जो अलग से डिसजॉइंट होकर लगा हुआ है इसमें ऑल भी इंक्लूड है, लेकिन अगर आपने ज्वाइंट कर दिया, एज वी नो, एज नो, एज यू नो, ठीक है। लिखो डिक्टेशन, पहले कुछ वर्ड लिख लो। लिखो एज यू नो, as you all know, as we know, as we all know, as we know, at very short notice, as a mark of respect, as a matter of policy, as a means of an end, as a permanent measure, as a provisional measure, as a temporary measure, as an alternative, as a result of, जो आपको टेस्ट मिलेगा इसके अंदर वो आपको मिलेगा SSC C and D ग्रेड। वहां पे जो आपको YouTube के नाम से मिलेगा, एड्रेस आपको पता ही है उसका, .steno18.in, इसमें 90 नंबर के नाम से मिलेगा, एट द स्पीड ऑफ 100 विद कोमा होगा और 80 पे होगा नो कोमा और विद कोमा। ठीक है, अगर आप 100 पे अच्छा लिखते हो डायरेक्टली टाइप कर सकते हो, क्योंकि मैंने अपलोड कर दिया है सभी। अभी ये आपको डेमो में मिल जाएगा और आपके लॉगिन में मिल जाएंगे दोनों। लिखो, डिक्टेशन लिखो। Start it. Mr. Vice Chairman, this finance bill has been introduced at a time of crisis, at a time of external crisis. In addition to the Chinese on the north, we have incursions from the neighboring country on the west. Therefore, it seems to me that this finance bill and the budget proposals should be defense oriented, but we find no provision for increase in defense expenditure. It is still rupees 740 crores as it was at the time when the finance minister announced his proposals. If we are to put our defense in proper order so as to ensure the security of our country, if we are not to look for military alliance in order to supplement our defense forces, our defense expenditure must be increased considerably, and it will have to be rupees 800 crores, 900 crores, or even 1,000 crores of rupees. There is enough money in this budget to allow transfer of more to the defense services. Money has to be found by reducing expenditure on other items which absorb so much money. The expenditure on the plan is 200 crores of rupees on the revenue account and another 300 crores on the capital account. This must be drastically pruned. The plan expenditure must be reduced to indispensable expenditure which may be required for the development of the country, like agricultural improvements and all facilities and aids that agriculture requires, like village roads, minor irrigation, reclamation of land, anti-erosion projects, literacy, without which our agriculturists cannot increase their productivity, technical education, which will also improve the productivity of not only the agriculturists but also those engaged in the industrial sector. There is certain expenditure which is unjustifiable in the present circumstances, in the present crisis situation in which we are placed. There is the expenditure on the planning commission cannot we really have a less expensive planning commission than the one which we have and which costs about 1 crore of rupees a year? The National Economic Development Council of England costs only 20 lakhs of rupees, 250,000 pounds sterling, and it does as good work as, if not better than, our planning commission to increase the productivity of England. There is also that absolutely unjustifiable item of family planning. I believe that in the fourth plan it will be raised to 70 crores. Then what about the expenditure on our administrative services? It has been growing steadily. We must have a commission on the pattern of the Hoover Commission, which proposed a reduction of $7,000 million in the administrative expenditure budget of United States of America. We must have a commission on that pattern in order to go into the whole business of our administrative system from top to bottom, from the center down to the states, in order to modernize it. We have been promised administrative reform committees in the Secretariat. The Home Minister makes much of these administrative reforms committees. First of all, their objective is only to reduce the delay in the Secretariat, not to reduce the expenditure. And moreover, appointment of administrative reforms committees from among the Secretariat officers is like asking the patients in hospital to prescribe for one another. You must have an outside body, a scientific body of administrators composed of public men and of businessmen, such as the Hoover Commission was, in order to go into the whole business of the costly administrative system under which the country is suffering. Then, in regard to our defense organization also, are we getting the best out of the money that we are spending, even out of the rupees 740 crores that we can afford? What we want for the defense of our frontiers is a mobile force, not the kind of force suggested by somebody in the other house the other day. They wanted the frontier to be defended by the whole army. They wanted the whole army to be deployed all along the frontier. We want mobile force, well armed, well equipped, which will be able to rush to danger spots before these danger spots become more dangerous. The government has suggested that a police force would be enough to do the ordinary work of defending our frontiers. I hope it will be an armed police, something like the armed reserve police used in Madras now generally for suppressing the student riots. It might be better used in the ordinary day-to-day defense of our Pakistan border. Has the army got all the modern equipment that is required? Have we got enough machine guns, automatic rifles, mortars and grenades, and how many per unit? Have we enough small and medium tanks? Have we enough anti-aircraft guns? And have we enough helicopters, which are in evidence in the recent defense action against the Pakistan incursions? Have we got the new craft which does not rise above a few yards, but which would be very useful in desert areas. Midterm elections were held in Kerala, as the House knows, on the 4th March 2005, because we did not want that the President's rule should continue further, and that a democratic setup with a state legislature should be there in Kerala, as that the people of Kerala themselves can again have their own legislature. As the House knows, according to the results announced, no party secured an absolute majority by itself, and no party was in a position to form a government. Out of 133, the party which had the majority votes was the Left Communists, numbering 40. The next party having the greatest number was Congress with 36. The third was Kerala Congress with 23. Now, out of a total number of 133, the Left Communists had only 40 seats, out of whom 29 were at that time under detention. We therefore explored all avenues likely to lead to the formation of a stable government. The government had been in touch with the various parties' leaders from March 8 to March 16. He held detailed consultations with the leaders of the Communist Party, the Indian National Congress, the Kerala Congress, the SSP and the Muslim League. 1040 के आसपास वर्ड है और 100 की स्पीड है, फ्लक्चुएशन ना के बराबर है. स्टार्टिंग से थोड़ा सा इंप्रूवमेंट आया था उसमें. आप 80 पे लिखेंगे. रेडी? Started. Mr. Vice Chairman, Sir, the Plantations Labour Bill 2003 was introduced in the Rajya Sabha on the 6th March 2003. Then it was referred to a joint committee of both the houses, and this joint committee submitted its report in 2005. Now we are discussing this bill today after 6 years of the submission of the report by the joint committee. Hence, the bill would not be able to deal with the present day expectations of the workers of the plantations. The original act in regard to the plantation labor, namely the Act of 2001 itself, provided various welfare measures for the plantation labor. But unfortunately, the planters nonchalantly violated all these provisions for welfare measures. The main question, therefore, is the question of implementation of the provisions of the Act. Mere amendments will not improve the position. There is no provision in the present bill also as to how these measures, these provisions can be implemented, and what the government is thinking in terms of implementing these provisions. In most cases, even the government officials who are deputed for the purpose of inspecting the gardens, they themselves side with the planters. If government officers themselves side with the planters, where is the remedy? Hence, we should devise ways and means and adopt measures so that the provisions which are made in the Act and the bill, the present bill, are implemented properly. Sir, the provisions in the present bill fall short of the expectations of the working population in the plantations. In the present bill, it has been suggested that the acreage of the plantations in regard to which this act will be applied will be reduced to 5 hectares. But this is also not sufficient, because under this also the owners, the planters will take shelter, and many of the plantations will still remain uncovered. This should be further reduced to 2.5 hectares. So far as compensation for house collapse is concerned, it has been said here that if the occupant of a house is directly responsible for the collapse, he will not be entitled to compensation. Under this provision, sir, the employers will take shelter and deprive many workers of getting compensation. Sir, it is known to everybody that the plantation industry is the biggest foreign exchange earning industry. The productivity of this industry in India can increase only if the labor are contented. Contented labor alone can improve the efficiency and productivity of the plantation industry. So the need of the hour is not to bring such piecemeal legislation. What is needed today is a comprehensive bill which should deal with all aspects of the working conditions of the plantation labor. The need of the day is to introduce such a bill where workers will have full participation in managing the gardens, and this plantation industry should be nationalized immediately. Sir, Assam is one of the most important tea producing states in the country. There, formerly, the tea gardens were owned by the Britishers. Now the Indians have purchased those gardens. After these gardens have gone to the hands of the Indian planters, the situation has not improved. Rather, it has deteriorated. The efficiency of the gardens has deteriorated. Even the local people and educated tea labor youths are being deprived of getting employment in the gardens. Therefore, steps should immediately be taken to nationalize this industry. Here, sir, I would like to inform the House that in 1998-99 the ruling Janata Party in the Assam Assembly had adopted a resolution unanimously for nationalization of tea industry in Assam. If the government is not willing to nationalize the entire plantation industry, I would request that the government should take early steps at least to nationalize the tea industry in Assam. It is a very vital matter for the economic self-sufficiency of Assam state, and it is very important from the point of view of increasing efficiency and productivity of the gardens also. I would like the government not only to pass this amendment bill, which I have risen to support, but also to ensure its implementation as best as it can. Otherwise, getting it passed and keeping a copy of it in the library or elsewhere will not improve the conditions of the plantation workers. I want proper implementation, proper enforcement of the law, and I want that desired amenities and facilities should be provided to these workers, and it should be ensured that employers do provide these amenities. When this question of joint committee was taken up in this house, our late friend Mr. Bhupesh Gupta was there, and he also voiced his feelings and said that these plantations should be acquired by the government. These are generally foreign owned establishments, and they are the centers, at least in Assam, of anti-Indian activities. These plantations deserve to be taken over by the government as early as possible. 840 वर्डों के साथ में है, 80 प्लस स्पीड है, फ्लक्चुएशंस आपकी 86-87 तक का है, और ये आपको मिलेगी SSC C D ग्रेड्स में आपको मिलेगी इस वाले पे 19 विद कोमा और विदाउट कोमा 80 वाली स्पीड पे। यूआरएल आपको क्लियर है। बाकी जिसने अच्छा लिखा